Come on, man. So I'm about 5 months into this hobby, and so far I've enjoyed the whole experience of building, modding, and photographing boards. I know I'm still considered pretty new, and I can't say I'm an expert, but I'm quite happy with what I've built. 3 keyboards and counting, and a few more coming. And I think I've already tried more than 10 switches, and even delved into switch modding or Franken-switching. With that, I thought I should go ahead and do a series about switch reviews. I know, there are a ton of people on the internet already doing reviews, but I guess I wanted to make a video out of my experience and maybe it could also help you decide what your endgame switch is. So, shall we? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. I'm marvingrey and I'm a photographer / hobbyist from the Philippines. First off, I'd like to thank the community for supporting my channel and watching my videos. It's because of you that small content creators like me gain traction that keeps this gig going. So again, thank you. So before we head over to the review, do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if there's something you'd like me to cover in the future episode, do let me know in the comments. Alright, so in this episode of Switch Reviews, we'll go on ahead and review the Durock POM Linear switch. This is a new switch from Durock and is different from the common JWK/Durock switches we know, like the alpacas and Mauves, and other recolors. Yes, we know about the recolors, but this one is different. According to Divinity and Durock's shop at Alibaba, the whole housing is made of POM and the stem is made of a mystery material. I have no idea what the mystery material is. I just hope it's not a mixture of leftovers from last night's buffet or something. The materials of the switch make it different from alpacas, wherein they use a nylon bottom housing, a PC top, and a POM stem. In terms of spring weight, the included springs are at 63.5, which is a lot closer to the alpacas, which have a spring weight of 62. So I'm guessing the weight on the fingers won't be as different. Maybe just slightly. I kind of like the monochromish color of the POM switch, since I think it's a step away from the usual colorful JWK Durock recolors we're all familiar with. I still like transparent switches though, in general. Kind of like the Lavender switch, which I will be reviewing on a separate video. So the POM switch prototypes were streamed in Teja's Twitch channel last December and has been on sale shortly after. Although this won't affect the switch review in any way, I'd like to thank JMK for sending over these switches and some lubes which I'll be using in one of my upcoming build videos. It's probably gonna show up here, eventually. I will keep these as neutral as possible and my review will always be based on experience. Alright, so for visual comparison, there isn't much difference in terms of the housing from the JWK Durock recolors, though the stem of the Durock POM is longer than that of the Mauves, which reduces the travel distance before bottoming out. It's still shorter than the Novelty's cream stems. On stock, the Durock POM switches come unlubed, which is a good thing in my opinion because we lube the switches anyway. There's very little to none in terms of stem wobble, and they are way smoother than Mauves out of the box, which is odd because the Mauves come slightly lubed. Definitely smoother than NK creams, but just as smooth or at least as close to the smoothness of Gateron Black Ink's V2. I did put some Deskies films when I lubed them, and they did alter the sound by a bit, but not by much. You'd have to put it close to your ear to hear the difference. It made the sound a bit deeper, but the stem wobble is almost gone. Though in my opinion, switch films aren't necessary for the Durock POM. They are good in stock, but as always, I would still recommend you lube them to maximize the smoothness. I lubed my set with 205 grade 0 for the housing and the stem, while I bag lubed the springs with GPL 105. For preference, I spring swapped the 63.5 stock springs for 16mm TX springs at 70, since I know I prefer heavier key presses. Alright, so for the price, the Durock POM Linears are priced at $7 per 10 switches, which is similar to silent alpacas. They are more expensive than alpacas though, since the alpacas and Mauves are priced at $550 US per 10 switches. I base these prices from various keyboard enthusiast websites since they have the same pricing anyway. The Durock POM Linears are priced lesser than Gateron Black Inks, but not nearly as expensive as ZLPC switches. Here's a quick rundown of the price comparison. In terms of smoothness, on stock, I find that it is next to the smoothness of Gateron Black Inks. But it's odd because even though the Mauves come lightly lubed on stock, the Durock POM feels a little smoother. Probably because it has less stem wobble than the Mauves or because of the mystery material stem. I tried comparing multiple stock switches of Mauves and Durock POMs, but I still ended up with this experience. So until I can get into a lab and present you a scientific finding why this is, I'll stick to my tests. So if I rank the linear switches I have, I'd say on stock, the Lavenders are the smoothest, then the Tangerines, then the Inks, then the Durock POMs. Then we have the Mauves, Gateron Milky Yellows, and then the Novelties Creams. Again, I used my maximum ultra sensitivity powers to rank them, so don't judge me. Next up, we have the sound test. I will be using the Space 65 with a carbon fiber plate and ABS cherry profile keycaps. We will be testing the switches on stock and then modded. Keep in mind that several switches came pre-lubed. You can quickly click the timestamps for easier comparison. Overall, I think the Durock POM Linears offer a deeper sound signature compared to the other JWK/Durock counterparts. It's definitely cheaper than Inks while being smoother on stock versus the Mauves. If you're lubing them, there's really very little difference between Mauves, Lavenders, and the Durock POMs. Well, except for the sound. So if it's smoothness you're after when lubed, and you're trying to shave off a few cents, you can't go wrong with Mauves or alpacas, or even Lavenders. Then again, if it's price and value, especially for starters, go for Gateron Milky Yellows. It's your best bet and it's a no-brainer. But I guess if you're tired of using recolored JWK switches, try the Durock POMs. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for sticking around. I do hope you find some value in this review. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this in the comments. If you'd also like to help the channel grow, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notifications. You can also share this content. I plan on releasing more keyboard hobby related videos soon. Stay tuned until the end for the typing sound test. Again, I'm Marvin Gray. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.